Welcome back. Today I'm continuing the process to convert my 1981 DeLorean into an electric vehicle. And on today's episode, I'm going to get here in the car and start ripping out the original electronics and wiring harness and some other little things to make room for all of our EV components. To catch you up quickly, I'm taking the entire drivetrain out of a Chevy Bolt. The electric motor, the inverter, the charger, the batteries, everything, and putting them in the DeLorean. This is Project Lightning. This here is one of the kind of stressful parts of doing the DeLorean EV conversion, but it's the part where I kind of feel like I just need to rip the Band-Aid off and do it as quick as possible. So there's not a lot of things in the DeLorean that I think I'm going to have to change like permanently that you can't go back on, but this unfortunately is one of them. The battery pack is going to sit up here in the front trunk area. This big circular area is where the spare tire normally goes, and I don't know if you can quite see, but there's brake booster and things over there. Anyway, this space is now going to have a battery. I don't know exactly how big the battery is, but I know it's going to be up here, and right under this circular area there's a few inches of space, and then under that is like the main cross member for the front suspension or the front frame. So I basically need to cut out here on this yellow line and open it completely up. That way I can take the battery box once I create it, and it will basically sit right there in the middle of the car. So yeah, a little bit stressful that I have to do this big cut because there's really no going back. You can't buy this fiberglass section anywhere, so if I would ever want to convert the car back and want to get the trunk area back, it would have to be like a custom job, so it would kind of suck. But anyway, let's get to it. I'm using a cheap air saw with a fiberglass cutting blade to cut through this fiberglass panel. The panel is about an 1/8 inch thick, and the saw cuts through it like butter. It worked incredibly well, and the air saw is small and light, and the blade is short, so I didn't have to worry too much about hitting anything behind the panel. I don't show it here, but after I make this coarse cut across the spare tire area, I went back and trimmed it as close to the fiberglass rails as I could. Alright, so as you can see, the front trunk area has been all cut out. I ran into a little bit of difficulty up here in this area. I thought the two sides were going to be symmetrical in the fiberglass tub, but they weren't. So on the driver's side, it's literally just a straight rail, and then right near the end it kind of splays out. But on this side, this little rail, I think you can, you probably cannot see it. I'll zoom in here. And so it comes up this way and then goes back in and then juts out again and then comes in. So it kind of makes like an M shape or W shape there. I don't know why, but it is what it is. So yeah, so I did cut through this area here. I'll probably want to clean it up with some fiberglass or something like that just to make sure I don't lose any strength. But I don't think it's really gonna matter anyway. The interesting thing here is now that this is open up, you get a really interesting view of the front of the car that you don't normally get to see. So you can see this is the steering rack here, and obviously the fan with the radiator in front. Normally in front of that radiator is a condenser for the AC system. Speaking of the AC system, you can see this little bottle there that's for the dryer or something like that for the AC system. My AC system came in this car non-functional, so it doesn't matter. This is part of the fuel sender system. So this is like all of the cables and things that would go into the fuel pump and fuel level sender. Up here, these are the fuel main lines and return lines, which are not hooked up and obviously won't be used in the electric DeLorean. And then, yeah, you can see just a lot of the, components that you normally have hidden from view. So this is your front brake line here, and your brake booster and brake master cylinder. You can see the steering linkages as they go down there. These little two tubes up here are for the heater core, so they actually run all the way to the back of the car, and a little valve opens up, that way you can have heat on the inside. I'm actually going to use those, I think, so it's kind of interesting. But yeah, I'll give you a little bit of a tour there, and now we'll move on to some other cool things. I'm going to drain the brake master cylinder and remove it along with the brake booster. Since the brake booster is vacuum powered and we don't have an engine to make a vacuum, I'm replacing all of this with the electric power assist brakes from the Bolt. Also, as you'll see in a bit, this system is really big and would be in the way of the front battery pack, so it will all be relocated. These two hoses here are for the vacuum line and fuel evaporation line, so they won't be needed. With the front cleared out, let me show you the size of the battery pack that's going to be installed. And since this was shot 6 months ago, and now I have the battery pack built, here is how the real thing fits in the space. This should give you an idea of why the stock brake booster location isn't going to work for the conversion. The new brake booster will fit between the battery box and the fiberglass rail. In a previous episode, when I had removed the engine, I had removed the plugs that go to the engine harness and taillights, and there are no other wires remaining in the back. On the interior of the DeLorean, the fuse box and relays are located behind the passenger seat. These will all be removed. Behind the driver's seat are 3 electronic modules that control the engine, and they are all mounted to a metal bracket. Everything here will be removed. I'm making good progress removing the relays and fuse box, removing a little at a time and going slow to not break any wires. I'm doing my best to leave everything attached so I can pull the entire harness out in one piece. At this point, I've realized that it will be much easier to access everything if the seats aren't in my way, so up the car goes on the lift. There are 4 nuts holding each of the seats down. With the seats out of the way, I move on to removing the center console. The wiring harness runs underneath it, so it has to go. It's held in place with a couple of screws in the tray in the back and the shifter up in the front. It also has electrical connectors for the window switches and clock. I'm now moving on to remove everything in the driver's footwell. There are a lot of interior pieces that need to come off, and then the binnacle that holds the instrument cluster. Of course, the camera shut off right as I pulled it out. Under the dash are a handful of electronics, like the inertia switch and lambda counter, plus some tubing for the climate control, and all of that comes out. I also need to remove the pedal box, which not only contains the pedals, but also the mount for the steering column. There are a bunch of small screws hidden under the dash holding everything together. After loosening the U-joint on the lower steering linkage, the steering wheel and column slide right out. This gives me easier access to get the brake booster mount bolts removed. Along with the bolts that go all the way through the firewall holding it together, this one is also rusted and glued into place. I can now get the last few wires removed and then get the pedal box assembly out of there. Next up is the radio and climate control. This area was an absolute wiring mess. Clearly someone has been here before me, as I found a lot of aftermarket wires in this area that couldn't be removed and had to be cut. I did my best to take pictures of everything and then moved on to the passenger side. On the passenger side, there are a couple of wires heading to the blower motor and some lights, and a couple of interior pieces. Overall, this part was quick and easy. In order to remove the wiring harness, I need to remove a piece of this rear bulkhead. And yes, this is all plywood. There is a center piece of the bulkhead that the wires go under to head to the center console, and this entire thing is carpeted. So I have no choice but to remove the carpet from this area. Luckily, this has already been on my list of items to replace because it's heavily stained and worn out. At this point, I'm finally feeling like I'm making some really good progress, as the passenger side is ready to come out. I now have to remove the 3 ECUs behind the driver's seat. With the ECUs removed, the wiring harness on the interior is ready for removal. I'm now working on a notoriously terrible part of the DeLorean. This is the windshield washer reservoir cover. This area gets a lot of water from the front tires, so it's covered in filth, and the bolts are so rusty that they just spin. This takes what should be a 10-minute job to remove 8 bolts and turns it into a 2-hour ordeal, where the main tool for the job is a Dremel with a cutoff wheel. It was terrible. Once the cover is removed, the reservoir slides right out and gives me access to the wiring harness connectors that merge the front bumper wiring to the interior wiring, which is the final piece of wiring harness. While the car is up on the lift, I also disconnect the angle drive. This cable runs the speedometer and odometer, which will now be all driven electronically. The wiring harness is then removed as one complete unit, filling a storage bin. Then the remaining carpet is removed. On the rear parcel shelf is a foam pad that is known to cause the DeLorean to smell like an old boat. There is some debate as to what component of this foam causes the smell, but either way, it's coming out. The plastic top is removed by hand, but I switched over to an oscillating tool to remove the majority of the foam. The area is then sprayed with brake cleaner, and then the adhesive is scraped off with a plastic razor. The next task is one that would make many DeLorean owners very jealous, including myself from 2 years ago. I'm going to raise the body off of the frame in about 15 minutes. With the body off, I can remove the final fuel lines that can't be accessed any other way. I can also remove the shifter and shift linkage, and the main frame ground cable. The body is then dropped back down and the bolts replaced. The lift makes this job a breeze, as I can raise or lower the body to line up the bolt holes. The frame and body are both somewhat flexible, and this can be a frustrating job if you've only got a floor jack. The last time I did this process, it took me an entire weekend. Let's take a look at the finished product. You can see that I did remove the dash pad and the air conditioning unit and heater assembly off camera to clear out the interior. And there you have it. The DeLorean is now empty. There's no interior, there's no engine, there's no electronics or wiring harness, and the car is ready to have all of the components from the Chevy Bolt moved into it. So if that seems like a fun project, you won't want to miss out on the next episode. So please show me that you're interested and give me your support by subscribing. This is Project Lightning.
Bill Carlson, in 5, 4, 3, 2.
Do I need to act like I'm driving? Oh wait, there's no engine noise.